everyone, it is me, D from D Inspired, and an amateur's take on Whole30. Um, I am going to talk to you more in depth about how to slay your sugar dragon and the steps I took to slay mine, and hopefully that will help you in your sugar addiction. A run through of steps to slay your sugar dragon. Step 1: measure your intake of sugar and reflect on how many grams of sugar that you eat or drink in a typical week or day. So in doing this, you can have that time to reflect, that measurable task it takes to measure. I'm sorry, I'm just having that issue here. Yeah. So that measurable task it takes to measure it, and even like if you could put it into something physical for you to actually realize just how much sugar you're taking without even noticing, or even like, or just in general, just to kind of be like, wow, like that face on head on thing with that you have a problem. Make sure you're taking a look at the sugars that you don't think are into food. So check on every label, like, and just kind of write it all down and reflect on yourself. Okay? Step 2: set a date. Set a date, make sure that you announce it. So in me doing my Whole30, it kind of goes hand in hand with that whole sugar addiction, and that's like another big reason why I ended up getting rid of that sugar addiction. But it was in telling people that I knew, telling people that I worked with, telling people that I loved that I was doing this that kind of set it in stone. A big help for me was vlogging my experience. By doing that, that kept me on track. Maybe you might not want to be out there in the world and vlogging, that's fine, but there's always your social media and out there that you can announce your progress to. Don't even care if anybody doesn't care about what you're doing with your health. Like, who cares? Just throw it on there. It's your social media. You do whatever the heck you want to, girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. But yeah, so make sure that you set that date and you announce it. Set it in stone. Make sure everyone knows about it. Number 3. Okay. Number 3, you want no sweeteners. No artificial sweeteners. No natural sweeteners. No sweetener added to fruit juice sweeteners. You want no sugar. So nothing that simulates sugar, nothing that is sugar, nothing that is a sweetener. Nothing, I don't even care if you're like, oh, agave nectar, it is all natural. No, none of it. None of it. Cut it all out. Cut it all out for at least 21 days. Why 21 days? Well, 21 days is this number that I grabbed out because after 21 days, it becomes a habit. So 21 days and it's ingrained in your system. You want that stuff out of your system, so you want nothing to mimic it. That's like someone who has a drug addiction going from one drug to another drug. You're still chasing a high. It's not fixing you. So you have a sugar problem, you need nothing that is sweetener. The only acceptable thing that is sweet that needs to go into your mouth is something that is naturally sweet, meaning not agave nectar, not that weird stevia stuff, meaning apples, apple juice, bananas, some orange juices, but you have to be very careful with those because there's a lot of added sugar in there. And then anything that says cane syrup or organic cane syrup or something like that, you just don't want. Just cut it all out. Number 4, be prepared for your withdrawal. So how did I do that? First, when was withdrawal for me? I seem to be a little bit delayed in things with my body. So I had to be prepared for my withdrawal within the 2nd day to the 5th day. So that was my little chunker there. And after that whole physical withdrawal bit, where I was experiencing that I was hungry but I wasn't hungry, or that I like, was like, oh, if only I could have something sweet. Or I'd even look at something sweet and mouth would like, start watering, that kind of thing. That went away after day 5. But be prepared for an elevation in mood. Your temper's going to be different. It's just like quitting, like, if you were ever a smoker and you quit smoking, that's what it's going to be like. You're going to be a little snippy at people, but it does go away, and it goes away pretty quickly, and you wouldn't think so, but you have to starve that dragon out. The only way to kill this dragon is to starve it out. Do not give it any sweeteners. Do not give it any sugars. You need to starve it out. And so it's going to fight. It's going to fight for its life, but you're going to have to starve it out. So how do you like get prepared for that withdrawal? First, prepare those that around you. So for me, it was my partner. I had to talk to my partner, Steven, that I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to be mean. I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be very nice to be around. So that's one. Another is to keep busy. So jump right into your work and do your work, and then after work, do something. You might want to be like, oh, I like to sit and relax, but what did you do when you sat and relaxed? You probably ate something that was sugary or starchy or something like that. Remember that when you're quitting sugar, you're also quitting bread, because there's a lot of sugar in bread. But yeah, so like you have to make sure that you do that. Keep your friends close by. I have a group chat of my 2 besties, and both, like, all of us talk every single day, and without their support, I don't think I would have gotten this far. So you want to do that. So keep busy, get ready. It's going to be rough, and just remember that it's only temporary. It's only a few days. It's only a few days, and then it's over. So just 5 to 7 days, and it's over. That's a week. It's a week. What's a week? We've all had horrible weeks. This is going to be a horrible week, but you know what? It's just a week. And then what happens? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's great. It's over. That's it. Number 5 is get through 10 days. So I just told you, oh, it's a week, it's going to be over. But just because it's over after that, once you get through 10 days, you'll get through another 10 days. It's just kind of that. When it's after 10 days without sugar, it's so much easier. It's so much easier. So have no added sugars, no nothing like that. And don't just after the 10 days or after the 21 days, like I suggested 21, but after those days, don't go back to sugar in a big way. Meaning oh, it's day whatever. Here's 3 Twinkies, and here's all 3 sugars in my coffee with all the cream, which also has sugar. And I'm gonna just mow all this down and just shove this into my gob, and and then you're gonna get on this huge binging, and that huge binging is going to put you right back to the beginning. So don't do that. Be prepared. Don't do it. After your goal of 21 days, only then slowly put sugar in there. And you might not even want to have that much sugar afterwards. And that's the point. This is a 21-day detox from your sugar. And you don't have to do the whole 30 like I did. This could be something that you're doing on your own, but just commit to that. Make sure you measure your intake, see how bad it is, or even just write out your reasonings to why. Or then set your date and announce it. Announce it to the people you love. Announce it to the people you work with. And then remember that there's added sweeteners in things. So you want no sweeteners, nothing that mimics sugar. You want nothing like that. The only acceptable, I have sun in my eyes here. The only acceptable kind of sweet that you can have for me was apple cider, was apple juice. So remember that. Remember to be prepared for that withdrawal by keeping busy, by having a support of friends, having things to do, anything to keep your mind off of that and change up those habits that you once had. If you wind down after work and you watch TV, and that's when you eat your sugary junk, or that's when you eat your potato chips, then I don't think you should watch TV after work anymore. I think you should do something else, more productive. Go read a book. Go do something like that. something like to unwind then. Listen to a podcast, go learn something. Just do something a little bit more productive that it doesn't link. Those habits don't coexist. And finally, just get through 10 days and you could get through this. So if you get through 10 days, you could get through this. Afterwards, do not binge. Do not binge. And you could get through this. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is my 5 tips on how to slay your sugar dragon, the ones that have worked for me. And I hope that I helped out in any way. If you want to, you can like, subscribe, or comment below. Tell me how your sugar addiction's going, and I will be here to support you. I'm always here to support you. Check me out on Instagram and check me out on my Pinterest and see what I'm up to, what I'm looking for. And I hope to talk to you guys sooner or later. All right, bye.